Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Rich Latta here. Not in a position to make a video at the moment, but I definitely want to talk about last night's game against the Phoenix Mercury. One of the more shambolic games and lack of effort and what you're about to hear. Like there's no real basketball analysis needed. There's no real feeling of, hey, this was an X and O's thing. This was a matter of heart. This was a matter of wanting to compete. This was perhaps the toughest loss of the year for the Indiana Fever. And it really feels like this is a fork in the road moment with Caitlin Clark still out of commission and wondering if you're going to have to call on her in light of the new injuries to Ari McDonald and now Sid Colson. Ari McDonald left the game in a boot. Sid Colson, knee injury. We haven't heard anything thus far yet, but the Fever down to, I want to say maybe 9 healthy players, and none of them play point guard at this point. So it is where the rubber meets the road. They beat up on, favorable teams for that 5-game winning streak. We saw the team start patting itself on its back a little bit, leaking stuff to the reporters and, really trying to pump it up and believed in that stuff. But the teams that you're going to have to face at the top look more like the Mercury than they do look like the Chicago Sky, for example. We saw the Sparks game over the weekend where it just looked like they were the prototype of the kind of offense that I think Indiana Fever fans are looking to see. But what I noticed here was, they went 2-2. I said they should probably try to look to go 3-1 on this West Coast road trip and all that. But this comes down to heart and willpower. You go in somebody's house, and the only person that wants to show up is Sophie Cunningham, and everyone else just wants to take the night off for whatever reason. You're not going to win. And not only are you not going to win, it's going to make, I think, the fans really start questioning if this is the right team, to put around Caitlin Clark. And you start looking at the roles and you look at who's really ready to accept the challenge. And as far as accepting the challenge goes, these are the questions. It's beyond basketball at this point. It's like, are you going to go out there and be willing to get in somebody's face? Are you going to take a hard foul? Are you going to compete with pride? I did not see that last night. I need Stephanie White to come out here and, hold herself accountable, hold the team accountable. And just because Caitlin Clark's not playing doesn't mean you have to lay it down like that. Lose by 10, lose by 5. Don't come out here and just get your doors blown off inside the third quarter and let DeWanna Bonner, of all people, do it to you. They took this game personal. When I say they, I mean Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. This was, going to be a tough one. The Fever got the first one in Indiana, so this one was, kind of circled, I would imagine, for them. And DeWanna Bonner had, 23 points, I believe. Alyssa Thomas with the triple-double. But I don't think the Mercury are some unbeatable team. I look forward to seeing them down the road again when everyone's healthy for the Fever. And running it back, because that, I don't think this is a reflection of the Fever, but it's definitely a warning sign, and a warning sign that I think this team has punched above their weight most of this season, and you're bound to get rocked and come back to reality at some point. But I think the key takeaway from last night was just someone has to look around the locker room and be like, fuck this. It's not happening like this. And I just don't know who that person is going to be until Caitlin Clark comes back in the lineup, aside from Sophie Cunningham. Like, is it going to be Kelsey Mitchell? You would think that does this. Kelsey Mitchell's a great scorer, but, she can have an off game. Leah Boston doesn't strike me as a person that's going to be like, fuck this. Natasha Howard does not strike me as the person that's going to be like, fuck this. This team needs more fuck this infused into it. It is, it it's really inexcusable. And it's not a basketball thing like with this. Like we know the stats. We can see the box score. We can see how they competed. This was, the fourth game on a road trip. Is there some schedule loss? Is there a schedule loss element to this? Absolutely. But I wouldn't even blame it on that. You know what you had to do when you were facing the Phoenix Mercury. And this team just allowed DeWanna Bonner to walk all over them, talking all the junk to Lexi Hall, selling out and trying to get into the physicality with Sophie Cunningham. They wanted this one. And not only did they want this game, they want this rivalry. And this is the extension from last year with the Connecticut Sun and with the the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. But it's been broken up and sent out there. DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas are going to be enemies of the state in regards to the Indiana Fever for the rest of their careers, however long, they're still doing this thing. And, is it a basketball rivalry? Absolutely. It is. But there's something else here. There was the way that DeWanna Bonner was acting last night let me know it did not go down as clean as everybody but Sophie Cunningham has said. This wasn't just some, simple trade request. I was willing to give Bonner the benefit of the doubt. But she was extra rough on Lexi, who, was the person that basically took her spot. And, she had a lot to say today. And when you're making your shots, you get the right to do that and all that. But I imagine Lexi Hull is going to remember this. And I look forward to Lexi to bounce back. Lexi's been going through it of late. I want to say she's like just her 3-point shooting is just gone in the gutter. Her confidence is shattered. She's not starting at the moment, and she's looking like somebody that is almost unplayable right now unless Caitlin Clark's in the lineup. And with, us not knowing when that will be, you got to wonder what Lexi Hull's future holds, especially with the expansion and the protection rights and all that. But it feels like Sophie's kind of playing herself into protection status. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and, base everything off of one game, but she's been on fire of late. And I think she's really kind of won over the fans with her personality, with her ability to compete, with her shooting. And it needs to be spread around the team. Follow her lead at this point. And she's not, your most talented player. She's not the all-star. She's not, someone that necessarily is even on a game plan, for other teams. But this loss was alarming in a lot of ways for me. And I think this was shambolic. I think they played like they did not have heart, which is the worst thing a team can have. I can take a close loss. I can take, a team, just was better than you on that day. And, you tip your hat to them and you move on. But this was something else. This was a flat out beat them down, stomp them out. We laughing at you. We're bullying you and punking you as well. You cannot have all that and expect to be a championship team. And, hopefully Caitlin is getting ready soon, because I think they're going to have to cross that bridge. And also they're going to have to figure out how to get a point guard in here until then. If Eric McDonald is out, they're going to have to consider cutting a Bree Turner and then, getting on their scouting shit and basically trying to make they can't make a trade at this point. So you got to see who's out there, and move forward. So this is just kind of a stream of consciousness here. And, let me know what you thought of this game, what you think of the state of this team right now with the injuries, with the lack of kind of heart that was shown last night. And, what do you expect to happen going forward? Anyway, my name is Rich. I'm up out of here. Peace. One lifetime.